codes and specifications. Therefore, it's our recommendation to the town accept it and provide payment as such. So that's kind of it, a summary of the services itself. The letters, you see that it was originally dated June 23rd. In good faith, we've already performed some of these services for some ongoing projects and continuing to be wrapped up. The Cody's Corner improvements, the rear yard swell, the excavation with Palm Summit, with the drainage ditch through there, as well as Grandview Drive and Snowshoe as far as the work that's performed there, just to keep everything moving along so that there was no lapse. Well, we present this to you for your consideration. If there's any questions, please.
And the proposal was submitted for $49,290.
Yes, and might I say too that that's, we estimate this total fee. This isn't a number like we're going to, here it is, $49,290. It could be more, but it could be that or a lot less. I can tell you right now, I believe that with the projects we've been involved with, we haven't invoiced the town for any of the work, but I want to say that it's probably about $13,000 to date with those, and then the other efforts on other projects we've researched have been directed to research. So with the 2010 season probably going to about October, and considering everything else, I don't see this number really being attained, to be truthful. But what we like to do is to provide you with a worst case, but the most, intensive number, so that I'd rather be conservative and be a little bit over than be under than all of a sudden go over.
Discussion.
Wayne, have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Have you taken a look at it?
No, I haven't.
Look, and I talked to you a little bit before, Ron. My problem with the proposal is it's just about $50,000 for a 10-week period, which equates to about $20,000 per month that the town would be paying to CNS. And the Exhibit A is just basically a generic outline as opposed to project-oriented, meaning these are the projects identified, this is what it's going to cost the town to accomplish those goals. And I don't know if there's any way to identify that these are the things that you're going to be working on. This is a cost that's going to be associated with that, because historically that's what we've looked to do. The board is approached with a figure, it's going to cost $5,000 for this project, as opposed to just turning open. Basically what we're opening here is a retainer, additional retainer for CNS of 49 plus to bill against. I don't know if that's a way.
Yeah, we did speak about that. I think that right now the difficulty is that we're still, well, let me back up. When the Drainage Committee kind of reconvened and we started to look at the complaints and all the open complaints as well as new complaints, I think, and Councilors Brown, please correct me, I think there was roughly 70 to 80, except for our best guess.
Yes.
Complaints that are currently open and haven't been closed.
Yes.
So at this time, what we're trying to do is to kind of wrap our arms around that, to get an idea. And this is where a lot of this investigation and mapping and everything to try to identify what complaints need the priorities. In other words, what we try to do is we look at situations where the failure of the infrastructure would cause property loss, or certainly cause health risks as far as or infrastructure impact as far as impacting the town's assets, its roads, its drainage system. So we're trying to go through that information and come up with a targeted list that identifies that. So trying to place a specific project right now is a little difficult. We're kind of rolling, and as one's become identified and voted on amongst the committee members, there's a direction to take to move forward. That's kind of what's based here. I mean, certainly with the identification process, we can look at that case.
I suppose what I would suggest, because obviously we want to address the drainage issues that are out there. I understand that. And previously, I think if we look back, we've spent out of the drainage fund, perhaps for engineering, off the top of my head, maybe 20,000. I don't know.
Well, double that. Double that for 2009.
Out of the drainage fund
Yes.
for O'Brien and Gear.
Yes, and in 2009, $182,000 was spent. So, you know, that percentage is 40,000, you know, it's a good percentage.
Sure.
And this figure is in line with that percentage.
Which is fine. What my suggestion, Ron, is going to be, because I think under those circumstances with the monies that we did spend prior, was the project would come up, we would approve it as a board. What I'd feel more comfortable doing is taking this figure and taking perhaps 20,000, coming back in August and seeing what has been accomplished, or I suppose you're going to submit a billing for an hourly basis as the project's done to the board, right?
It is our intention to bill each specific project with our man hours and a description of those services. Yes.
So we could come back in August and say we need more money, but we could get kind of an interim report.
Well, let me say a couple of things here. My criticism of the proposal is that it states it's a 10-week period of time. CNS has been involved already more than 10 weeks with the drainage issues so far. And as Ron said, you know, those things have not been vouchered. As chair of the Drainage Committee, I can tell you that the drainage program is in need of some structure, accuracy, responsiveness. There's been a lot of problems, and CNS has attempted to put in a lot of structure for that program. So I think that we're making headway. Ron mentioned the projects that we've already completed, Cody's Corners, Palm Summit, Grandview, and we have other projects on the books. You know, Stevens Drive, Pine Grove West, Rosewood Circle, the whole Henrik Woods area, Belmore, Joss Farms, all of these areas, plus a lot more, are being looked at. We're trying to get estimates. We're trying to prioritize these various projects. What's happened in the past with the previous engineer was that whatever the project was billed for that project. And I think this attempts to put a limit on how much would be paid for drainage. And I have to say, Ron, that I don't think the town is in any financial shape, to exceed this figure, okay? And I think we did talk about that, so, it's disingenuous, to say it may be more, because I can assure you we're not going to get more, out of this. So, I think this is well worth the effort that's gone in so far for drainage and what is projected for the rest of the year. Now, this $49,000 is coming out of the $300,000 money that's budgeted, okay? Along with the $150,000 that has already been approved for Fisher Construction to actually do the work. So that still leaves, $100,000 for material and administrative costs, and the comptroller assures me that, we can cover this. So,
which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. It's just more or less the issue of opening up another retainer to 50 as opposed to perhaps a lower amount where we could get updates. And surely previously, didn't we have a portion of the drainage designated towards highway?
That's that portion that's in the highway fund?
Yeah.
it's separate.
That's a separate.
It's a separate line item totally. But, I mean, I don't know. That would be my suggestion, is we have a report in August and we have a lower dollar amount on the retainer.
Any other discussion?
I don't know what a report in August will get you. I mean, there's been a lot of work that's already been done. the setup right now is that the committee votes on the projects, and there's a limit to how much can go to the project. When the money runs out, that's it, and it's the same that would be with the engineering costs. You want prior approval for some of these costs, but there was no prior approval for one project in which the engineer was paid $9,000 for one project, for example. So, it seems like we are now trying to get a handle on these engineering costs and to set a limit, along with the RFP that we have for the actual construction of the projects. And I think we're making progress in getting these things done and prioritized. So,
I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with the proposal as presented.
I will second that motion.
Mr. Conway?
The thing about it is, me on this is, we don't have anyone bidding, only one bidder. And I think that when we're spending this kind of money, we should, and granted, the new contract that they had done this year, with just one contractor, I don't think that we have a choice. We gotta take whatever price they wanna give us. And I gotta vote no on this.
Okay, Mr. Jennings?
Yes, for the proposal.
Ms. Zambrano?
Yes.
And Mr. Coral?
Say no, and the problem that I have is it's $50,000, a lot of taxpayer money to turn over without having board oversight or approval on the specific projects.
And Ms. Boyke?
I'd like to say that previously, all of the money that was spent on drainage issues in the town, and they are still reoccurring, that I experience on a daily basis, that finally finding some structure to actually organize and categorize these, that I find it refreshing, and I'm voting yes.
Thank you.
Ryan, do you plan on backfilling those other funds, those outstanding invoices? Just out of curiosity.
Backfilling
Backfilling those funds you said you expended, those charges?
towards this, yes, because it was work performed towards the intent of this contract. We didn't want it, the problem was if we didn't do it, the work wouldn't have.
Could you
performed.
please speak into the microphone?
Yes, we do plan, because it was work performed to address the intent of what the committee, what the drainage improvements are directed to. If we hadn't participated and hadn't expended that effort, the work may not have moved on. We'll just be further behind this year.
So you'll be submitting further invoices to the town, which were generated prior to the board's approval. Is that correct? Just,
Before that, for
Before tonight.
services performed prior to tonight,
yes.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Which was the practice with the previous town engineer, I might point out.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify. Thanks.
And the fact that there was never a challenge to go out and find to solicit other vendors as well. So this is not a change of practice. It's just that we're establishing structure. Thank you. Moving on, we're looking at item number 15. It would be the information relevant to the cemetery grant. Jody? Oh, yeah.
You want to do 14?
Oh, sorry, hang on. Number 14, the release of landscaping bond for Walmart. And Wayne, I believe that's your item.
Yes, I put it on the agenda. They have asked that we release them from the application for their landscaping bond. It covers the shrubs, the fencing, the lawns, the ponds,